Hi China Lake, it's Susan from Fitness again with Ranger, and we just want to share some good news for some and some other news for others. So the good news for China Lake is that, if you haven't heard yet, we're getting fireworks this year. We've gotten approval to have a live firework display on Mirror Lake, the dry lake bed, on Saturday the 4th of July. Now most of us are going to be excited about that, but some of us aren't. So here are some things that we can do and start preparing now, so we know that Independence Day this year will be one that we can all enjoy. Let's make sure that our animals are microchipped and are wearing tags that identify you. So if you have a microchip, have you updated your home address and telephone number and the name on the microchip with the microchip company? If you haven't, there's no point. They're not going to be able to call you. Make sure that you have a tag that has a phone number that can be called. If a stray shows up anywhere in this area, the first thing that will happen is they will be scanned for a chip and identifiers will be looked for. So please, let's make sure that's the case, even if it's not the 4th of July coming up. We don't want to leave our animals alone on any firework night, especially with a big display like the one that's coming up. Make sure somebody stays with them. They know and we know that being together is the best thing that we can do. So if you had to choose between one or the other, let's make sure our animals are safe. They need a safe haven to go to. So they probably have your bed or their bed or under the bed or maybe a den that they like to be in. And if not, if you want to give them an extra space, find like an end table or the kitchen table and drape it so it's like a den, a dark den that they can go in and feel that there's a safe spot. And that's a great thing to have for our dogs anyway, but a safe haven to go to. So a lot of people like to stay with their pets during firework time and turn on music and turn things up. I would suggest go one further, and this has been incredibly successful for me and for other animal parents that I know. Desensitize them. That would be the best thing ever if they just don't care about the fireworks. We've got all these phones and tablets and big screen TV with surround sound and free apps to download. So remember, they're so sensitive to the sounds, but also the smell of the fireworks, a little bit less the sight, but it's all those bells and whistles and booms that get them going. So why not desensitize them? Download an app now. Download a couple different ones. If you find an app that has background music, I would turn the volume down or get a different app, because at the end of the day, we want them to just think, oh well, if they hear fireworks anyway. So if you start to desensitize them, play the app at different volumes, at different times, for a few minutes, for longer, in the background, while you're eating or doing something else. Let them just get used to that's just a sound that happens. And instead of reacting with fear and worry about how they're responding to it, if you see that they're a little bit anxious while you're practicing the desensitizing, just go, oh, okay, that was interesting, wasn't it? And let it go. And especially if you have a treat to give them, let's see if we can't get our animals to associate the firework sounds with, it's okay by my people and I get a treat. So maybe it's not so bad after all. Please don't give sedatives or medications to your animals unless it's something that you've already done successfully in the past. Don't try it for the first time on firework night. And whatever you do give, please make sure that it is cleared by your vet and is appropriate for your animal. Testing something out for the first time is not a good idea when you've got a display going. And sedation for our animals, it's one thing if there's something physically healing from and they need to be drowsy for whatever reason, but if they get drowsy and don't understand why, and then there's a perceived threat, like an attack, like fireworks going on, it can actually make them mentally more concerned and freaked out, even though their bodies aren't responding to it. So just be aware of that balance. Let's make sure this 4th of July coming up is something that we can enjoy and celebrate, and not something that we and our pets are going to regret. So remember, keep track of this Facebook page for details about the 4th. It's going to be a good night. Let's make sure it's a good night for everybody. Hope to see you there.